The WNBA faces significant challenges following the elimination of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever from the playoffs, having succumbed to Alyssa Thomas and the Connecticut Sun with a score of 8-7-8-1 on Wednesday. The Fever embarked on their inaugural postseason journey since the 2016 season. The Fever, spearheaded by Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, concluded the season robustly to secure the 6th seed in the WNBA standings. One might consider Caitlin's inaugural year to be relatively acceptable. You are correct. The Fever's elimination from the playoffs is arguably the most detrimental occurrence for the WNBA at this juncture. To rectify this issue, they are overreaching significantly. Will the other players attract viewers as Clark does? Negative. Will the other teams attract viewers? Negative. Will they at least achieve full stadium attendance? The response is negative. The W is in significant jeopardy now that the Fever have been eliminated. We will likely observe a significant decline in viewer counts from this point forward. WNBA players have finally encountered the experience of performing before individuals who can breathe unaided by an air compressor. Following the commencement of the pursuit for the golden toilet this past weekend, I am aware that the community of identifiers wishes to extend this celebration throughout the autumn season. However, Uncle Casey is here to inform you that the celebration has concluded. Your reality is confronting the porta potty. The truth is ultimately being revealed. The same brightness will diminish here in around 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is ousted from the playoffs. Consequently, this has occurred. The W is in jeopardy, is ultimately being substantiated unequivocally. Caitlin Clark is a luminary. Caitlin Clark is a significant box office attraction. In contrast to the remainder of the WNBA, it is merely a refined blemish. It seems that supporters of Caitlin Clark have taken heed. Last night, I obtained the ratings for the initial round of games in the pursuit of the golden toilet. Caitlin Clark successfully attracted an audience despite competing directly with the early NFL games. As anticipated, the remainder of the WNBA was entirely overlooked. The WNBA is anticipated to face total dissolution at this juncture. Who would have anticipated? Caitlin was universally acknowledged as the primary draw for viewers. With her departure, the populace has also vanished. Moreover, the WNBA and its sponsors have recognized this trend. They are currently attempting to mitigate the situation due to their need for ratings, as they cannot feature a rookie female as their representative figure as she is unavailable. According to the behind-the-scenes information, she does not embody the ideal representative that W's anticipated. It is currently being revealed before our eyes. All that we have been discussing the issues pertaining to the WNBA. What are the issues associated with diversity, equity, and inclusion? What are the issues with this race agenda? What is problematic about the agenda of Black queens? He has composed a narrative regarding Nike and its hesitance to capitalize on Caitlin Clark. The WNBA has consistently lacked substantial resources and recognition. Cheryl Miller was unable to effect significant change. Candace Parker was unable to effect significant change. They now possess a woman who has rendered the WNBA significant. I am questioning why she is not receiving a promotion. How did Nike acquire her at such a modest cost? Was it not at 22 or 32, $28 million over 8 years? That is incongruent to me. Jason Whitlock is entirely accurate in this context. Why would Nike allocate such a substantial investment only to allow it to falter? Why would the WNBA refrain from allocating resources to its sole asset? It pertains to the stereotype that the W wishes to project. Subsequently, during the initial phase of the Clark administration, Nike's stock has plummeted. During this period, the CEO was recently dismissed. Incidentally, Clark attained fame at approximately 22 years of age. Acquiring her shoe may necessitate a wait until 2026 or 2027. Caitlin Clark remarked on her inaugural NBA playoffs in season while donning Kobe Bryant shoes. They lack a shoe for her. It may not occur until 2026 or 2027. LeBron James debuted his signature shoe during his first year. 20 years ago, Nike demonstrated agility and foresight by deciding to launch LeBron's shoe. This individual is poised to become significant. For whatever reason, they are unable to accomplish this for Caitlin Clark. This is not even the most severe aspect. Here comes the crucial point. It illustrates precisely why Caitlin Clark is being overlooked by Nike. Proceeds through as a Nike advertisement featuring Iowa and Caitlin was not prominently promoted to the public. No Nike commercial has been produced for Clark as a professional. Allow that to be fully comprehended. No advertisement featuring Caitlin Clark. She has spent 4 years as the preeminent figure in athletics, significantly influencing television ratings. No advertisement for Nike. I was the one responsible. Returning to her distinctive brand. Nike serendipitously acquired a once-in-a-lifetime marketing opportunity which they are leveraging to promote existing products. What is the reason for this occurrence? Here is the payment. According to discussions with informed individuals, it is indeed related to WNBA MVP and Nike athlete Asia Wilson. However, beyond Wilson, the focus lies on the company's culture, which prioritizes suppressing dissent above generating impact, in contrast to Nike's former approach. Absurd, is it not? What is the effect of this? It is readily apparent Dawn Staley and the other irate Yas Queen feminists refrain from favoring that white girl until you elevate the popularity of the 6'5" black woman over hers. Why is the WNBA promoting the playoffs featuring Asia Wilson instead of Kelsey Mitchell? Not Caitlin Clark. What is the reason? What is the reason for their existence? No, you are Caucasian. You must cue. We are dedicated to Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson will not market a shoe. Conclusion. The conclusion of the narrative reveals the characters as foolish. Fools. They are not concerned about business. They are not focused on the expansion of the WNBA. They pertain to diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is madness. The treatment of Caitlin Clark. It constitutes poor business practice. It is myopic. Upon her departure from the playoffs, likely tonight, the WNBA playoffs will conclude. You question why they observed the stabbing in the eye by Dejanay Carrington without intervening. They desire her exclusion from the playoffs. This is precisely what transpired. Caitlin Clark has been eliminated, and the league may now disregard her. That is presumably their and Nike's intention, correct? What is your opinion on that? Is the W concluded for this year now that Clark is unavailable? Will the fans engage next year upon her return? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. The Suns' performance was inadequate as they progressed to the WNBA semifinals for the 6th consecutive season. The Fever may not have achieved the desired outcome this season, having been swept by the Sun. However, there remains much to commend. When this club commenced the season with a 1-8 record, they were dismissed. The synergy between Clark and Boston provides a foundation upon which the Fever may develop. Boston and Clark were both selected as rookies for the WNBA All-Star team. It is highly probable that the Fever will yield consecutive year winners. Should the Fever continue to improve, their comeback next season is highly probable. Despite the setback, rookie sensation Caitlin Clark delivered an outstanding performance, concluding with 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists, while nearly orchestrating a fourth-quarter rally to salvage Indiana's season. Clark is the inaugural rookie in WNBA history to record a playoff game with 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, and the first rookie to attain 25 points in a playoff game on June 9th since Magic Johnson in 1980. Although Clark has participated in only 2 postseason games, she has significantly contributed to one of the most exceptional rookie seasons in WNBA history. Clark commenced Game 2 with vigor, successfully making her initial three-pointer following a challenging shooting performance in Game 1. She progressively diminished in intensity as the rigor of Connecticut exhausted Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, both of whom participated for the entire 40 minutes. Despite the considerable effort, Clark experienced a resurgence as the Fever sought to into the game in the fourth quarter. She provided Indiana with a late advantage by scoring a three-pointer with 4 minutes remaining. However, Sun guard Marina Mabrey promptly responded with a three-pointer of her own, allowing the Sun to extend their lead. The Fever identified the optimal combination of players and playing style in the second half of Caitlin Clark's inaugural season, achieving significant success and ascending to the 6th seed. After a sluggish beginning to the season, Indiana accelerated their pace and incorporated Lexi Hull into the starting lineup, ultimately emerging as one of the premier offenses in the WNBA. The Fever confront a pivotal summer in which they must further grow around their 2 principal players, Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Should Clark enhance her performance in her second year, she possesses the capability to guide a team to a title if the appropriate support is in place. This summer, the Fever's primary objective will be to re-sign guard Kelsey Mitchell, who excelled following the Olympic break and significantly enhanced the team's offensive performance. As the season advanced, Mitchell and Clark developed a strong connection, prompting Christie sides to utilize them in coordinated moves to create challenges for defenders. Mitchell's average for the season was 19.2 points per game. Regarding external acquisitions, the team may integrate an athletic wing into their lineup. Hull excelled as a 3-and-D option this season. Nevertheless, the Fever might benefit from an additional player capable of fulfilling that role, either alongside Hull in smaller lineups or as a substitute. Evaluate Misha Hines-Allen of the Minnesota Lynx, who will enter free agency this offseason. Despite the Fever season-ending loss to the Sun, the Star established a new milestone, becoming the first player in WNBA history to average a minimum of 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 2.0 steals, and 1.0 blocks per game across an entire series. But Michael Jordan is the sole athlete to have achieved this feat in both the WNBA and the A, a distinction that is quite uncommon. Clark, despite a challenging initial game, has consistently shown that no adversity can deter her for an extended period. And the Fever guard, akin to a decade-long veteran, possesses a fleeting memory, as she consistently exerts her utmost effort and refrains from allowing past occurrences to accumulate in the present. Clark spearheaded the performance in Game 2 with 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists on 10 of 23 shooting, while committing only 3 turnovers, which is below her season average. This represented a commendable recovery from her 11.8 assists in Game 1, during which she made only 4 of 17 attempts from the floor. By redeeming herself, she secured a notable place in history. It is important to acknowledge that WNBA first-round games are limited to a best-of-3 format. The Sun decisively triumphed over the Fever in the first game, 93-69, and in the second game, Connecticut withstood a significantly improved performance from Indiana, thereby concluding Caitlin Clark's season. The gap in the number of games required to conclude a playoff series may render the comparison between Clark and Jordan somewhat misleading. Nonetheless, it is necessary to acknowledge that the Fever guard's ability to amass statistics is remarkable, and it will not be long until this translates into postseason success. The cultural impact of Caitlin Clark is undeniable. She has garnered an unprecedented audience for the WNBA. The WNBA has gained popularity mostly because of its marketability. She substantiates her marketability with exceptional expertise, transforming a chronic lottery team into a playoff contender inside a single season. Clark has experienced numerous challenges as the Fever encounters difficulties initiating the 2024 season. She has grown progressively at ease competing against seasoned players and has proven that she not only belongs but is poised to remain at the pinnacle of the WNBA hierarchy. At just 22 years old, Clark has already set numerous WNBA records, including the assist record, which she is anticipated to surpass in the future, particularly if she rectifies her turnover problems. Clark should render the Fever an attractive destination for free players, enabling the team to cultivate a genuine title contender in the future. Will you be watching the Fever again next year? And is it possible for them to secure a top 4 spot in 2025 and go to the semifinals of the playoffs? Please share your opinions in the comments below, and remember to subscribe for daily updates on the WNBA.